Hey. Okay, so on to our next headliner act. I don't know how to introduce him because his flow is insane, like smooth, soulful, and I feel like you guys are gonna get it when you hear his three pieces. So can we please give it up for Isaac Malachi? Hello. He's just gonna go straight into his first piece. You go for it.
Okay. Hi guys, can you hear me? Yeah? Cool. Gentrification. London. So the city that raised me, I no longer recognize. Imagine a child feeling estranged to its mother. Once inseparable, now barely able to relate to one another. My city's an oxymoron. You've got poverty and opulence rubbing elbows like public transport passengers at rush hour. A select few in position of power while the masses can only stare or glower at the glass towers sprouting up all around them. Dilapidated buildings being bullied by beautifully built skyscrapers. Their old bricks no match for new tricks. Now you see gentrification. On occasion it causes devastation to a nation that isn't easily recognizable. And it's a pitiful situation when the country that you were raised in treats you like a raisin. Do you get what I mean? Like once a delicious and desirable grape, now you're dried out, not quite everyone's taste, and you no longer have a place at the table. You're now, in fact, under it. Out of sight, out of mind. Now the scarce resources that you hear about, they seem mirage-like because you see and you hear about them on the news, but they never seem quite real to you. So ultimately, the question remains where's a person expected to go when they're no longer welcome in their own home?
If someone didn't know what gentrification was before coming into this room, they definitely get the picture. You painted it so clear. Wow, take us through how you learn how to tell stories in that manner, because that was really clear and vivid.
I like movies.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like a lot of comedy. And comedy is storytelling, but in a way that is relatable, and that's what I want my poetry to be. I want it to be relatable. I want it to feel like I can identify with this piece, and this is speaking to me. So I think that's kind of, and also poetry started for me, as Anna said, and as you said, as therapy. So I needed to find a way to say how I felt constructively. That's it. So that's how I started developed.
And you told me earlier, 11 years?
11 years.
11 years in the bag. Whoop, whoop, please. Whoop. Wow, 11 years. Wow. So take us through that journey. So it started off with as therapy. Was it kind of something for you yourself, or did you know that what you were writing was poetry? Take us through that.
No, so for those that don't know, I got shipped to Nigeria against my wishes.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah, so I needed a way to vent. Punching walls wasn't getting me anywhere, so I needed to articulate myself in a way that I could get everything that was inside out. And as you mentioned, like free writing. So I was writing down what I felt, and it rhymed. And I was like, okay. And I just carried on going, and then I realised it felt good after, like catharsis. This is really nasty as a metaphor, but like after a night out, when you vomit, you feel better after. It's true, you get what I mean? Like after it's all out, it's there, and then you feel better. That's kind of what poetry does for me.
Better out than in.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I get it. As a fellow poet, I get it. Nice. And when did you start performing? So it's been 11 years. Have you always performed that poetry?
No.
When did you start?
So a lot of the pieces that I write are very, very personal, require me to be quite vulnerable. So as you can imagine, it's not easier to share that publicly. But I was encouraged by the people in my life that I love and care about, and they saw that there was actually potential here. It's often people around you that will see your talent before you do. So yeah, I think maybe 7 years in, I started performing.
Nice.
So yeah.
Thank you, those people. Who are they here today?
Yeah, my sister's in there.
Thank you, sister. We love the supportive sister. Honestly, we stand. I gotta shout out my sister too. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, she's the same for me. So I relate. Shout out to the sis. No, that's great. I'm really happy that she pushed you to look into that. Yeah, no, because your flow, your storytelling, I don't know, even like, as a poet, I don't even know what word to use, because it's clear. You know, sometimes with poetry, when I was starting to write, the reason why I didn't know it was poetry that I was writing on the page was because sometimes poetry can be a bit unclear as to what the message they want to convey. It's very ambiguous, let's say. And yours it's so nice that I get what you're trying to say and I even relate to it. So the relatable poetry is definitely my bag. So thank you for sharing your poetry. Thank you for coming today. And I think it takes a lot to be vulnerable, right? And to share that with all of us here today. So I definitely appreciate it, and I'm sure the crowd does too. So take us through your flow. How did you find that flow? That smooth. We all saw how smooth this flow. How did you find? Take us through that. Has it always been this smooth?
No. No. I think I just watched a lot of people. So when I like something, I become a student of it. So I watched people like George the Poet, like Silly Breaks, Chosen, Joseph Solomon, the likes, Americans, British, like Nigerians, all different kinds of poets. And I kind of took pieces that I admired in each of them and kind of cultivated my own little flow from it. So yeah.
Nice. So you've got another poem for us. Take us through that element, right?
Yes.
What inspired the element? What's that story?
So I think a lot of us, well, let me speak for myself, so I've gone through quite a few phases in my life, especially understanding who I am as a person and the person I want to be. And I think there's a certain point when I reached that, so the ideal and the reality was one, and that was a great feeling.
Yes.
And it was literally one of those 10-minute ones you just write off, and it felt really good to be on the page. So it's a poem that speaks to what it means to be comfortable with who you are, within your own skin, and also what that means for the people in your life that care about you and those that can emulate those steps to self-love and so on. So yeah, should I jump into it?
Do it. Go for it.
Element. There's nothing more marvelous than a man in this element. The way he maneuvers meticulously, manipulating problems into money-making monopolies, you can tell he's right where he's meant to be. It's evident he didn't get here overnight. He had to defeat the demons in his mind in his attempt to find himself. There's no wonder his self-esteem is bulletproof. His confidence is contagious and his drive is definitive. Most see the shine but fail to realize that this role is germinated in the toughest conditions. Planted in the most treacherous of soil and turmoil, he used his limitations as nutrients to strengthen his roots. The pain he endured solidified his stems so that when his shoot penetrated the concrete, people couldn't help but marvel at his leaves and believe he's most definitely the one to beat. So now he takes his seat in heavenly places, powerfully purposed for greatness, demonstrating that you too can achieve the same, and that we all can thrive once we're able to find or create our element. Thank you.